Hi everyone! This video is going to be a little bit of a yapping video as I just kind of talk about my experience that I've had with this trainer training event and all of the things that I experienced, my takeaway from it. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the event is, I'm going to talk a little bit about, how it was made up, and just mine and my team's own experiences with it. So in this video I'm going to just give an overview of the event. I'm going to talk about what happened, what our mentality was going into it. I'm going to interview each member of my team so that you guys can kind of get to know my team a little bit, and then I'll give some closing thoughts. So this event was an extremely ambitious Umamusume content creator event where Sayadek put together, this is insane, like 45 people, right? So there were 9 coaches total, which included me and some folks that you might recognize from the community, such as Charles from Victoria Frontier and Wagent from the Backliner's Guide to Umamusume, and a couple other really incredible folks. There were also 36 quote-unquote trainees, which were people on the coach teams, who also, you might know, like I think Rednu was in it, Lightburb was in it, Rin was in it, like a lot of really incredible people, and a lot of people that are not necessarily just in the Umamusume sphere, but also just in a content creator sphere as a whole. It was an incredible collaborative event, and it took so much work, I think, to pull everyone together and to pull something like this off, and the fact that it happened was insane. Like, this was so cool. Wow, this is crazy. So the format of the event was that there were 9 coaches, and each coach had a team of 4 players. And those 4 players, plus the coach, would all run one Uma on 3 separate tracks that were all the same distance. Like, so somebody, like Barry, for example, got 3 mile tracks that she had to make an Uma for. I got like 3 dirt tracks that I had to make an Uma for. So on and so forth. And then, there was a point system that was tallied up at the end of the day, and, we would see kind of who won in the rankings. This event was meant to, my understanding is that this event was meant to be more of a who's who and also a collaborative learning and educational event. So this is an event where we have specifically like coaches and people being coached, and the people being coached on the teams were here for learning and, figuring out, maybe some places where they could improve their gameplay, and then just like seeing kind of how they did. So it was really interesting, and I had a really fantastic time with it. So yeah, the format is that each player or each team only sends 1 Uma into each of these races. So instead of like 3 Umas like we might have in a champion meeting, or 5 Umas like we might have in a 5v5, we only have 1. There was 1 Uma from each team, and there was 9 teams, and then 15 races total, and then, we divvied up points based on placements, and that was kind of how the overall format of the event worked. So when we first got our teams, and I started talking with my team a little bit, a lot of them really expressed that they enjoyed my content because I focused a lot on winning with my favorites, and I focused a lot on how you can make your favorites win. Because that was what drew my team to me as a coach, I wanted to elevate that. I wanted to have everyone work with the Uma that they wanted to in order to try and win. This is a little bit tricky in the format of the event, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but overall, the introduction between my team and I really set the level for how I wanted to interact with the event. I wanted everybody to have fun. I wanted everybody to work with their favorites. I wanted to try and show people how they can use game knowledge to help their favorites to win or place highly. And then I wanted to meet people. Like, I was so honored to meet my team. I was so honored to meet everybody. Like, it was such an incredible experience. And I feel like I came away with it with a lot more friends, and I'm going to definitely talk more about that later. But yeah, so that was my overall approach to this event. I wasn't viewing it, we have to pick the best Uma so that we can win and get all the points. I was viewing it as, let's try to work with what we want to do and see if we can, get points with that, right? There were a lot of difficulties with this approach that we used. The race setup and event rules put a team of people all wanting to use favorite characters at a pretty significant disadvantage. And that's because, firstly, because we were only sending 1 Uma into each race, we could not build a team around helping our Oshi to win. So if anybody has watched my How to Win with Your Favorites guide, a lot of what I talk about is using team building to help your Uma be in the position to activate a win con that might be a little bit trickier for them than it would be for a more meta horse. We weren't able to do that because we only were able to submit 1 Uma. So we couldn't, for example, submit an Uma that would trigger our Uma unique. We couldn't submit a Uma that would, push our Uma into a certain position. We just had to kind of blindly throw darts at the dartboard because we also didn't know what anybody else was running. So we didn't know if there would be fronts. We didn't know if there would be ends. We didn't know if there'd be pace chasers. And not knowing anything about what the other teams are doing other than like doing a meta read of the track and saying, okay, this is an angling and scheming map, this is a corner 4 acceleration map, this is a corner 3 acceleration map. Like that was all we could really do to try to predict what other teams were going to be doing, which made it difficult for us. Additionally, there was a rule where we could only use parents from within our team, so we can't go on Chronogenesis and borrow parents, which I think also disproportionately disadvantages people trying to run off-meta Umas because we are not able to do a lot of aptitude fixing while still maintaining good sparks. I struggled with this a lot because I was running a dirt FUJI KISEKI who has a native dirt aptitude of F, and I have no good dirt sparks on my account. So, we were trying to farm parents for each other. We were trying to say, okay, you want to run Meisho Doto, let me farm some mile sparks. Okay, you want to run, this character's a late surger, let me try to farm some late sparks. I did so many Saiyan Sky runs that just did not spark well at all. And so it was really difficult, I think, for us to be able to even try to get to a point where we could compete, which put us at a disadvantage when, it was very easy to make choices on Umas that were able to just compete at a higher floor, right? Getting our favorites to that floor was hard for us. And I think it was made harder because of the event rules, but I don't necessarily, this isn't a criticism of the event. I don't think that the rules were made in bad faith or the rules were made specifically to punish Oshi players. It was just kind of a side effect of the conditions that we were under, right? And so, when I noticed, or when I realized that my team is going to be running a lot of off-meta picks, I did not anticipate that we would, get first place. I didn't think that we were going to come out and just sweep everything and be, the best team ever. Because that wasn't our goal, right? Our goal was to learn. Our goal was to work with our favorites. Our goal was to try to use an understanding of the race course and the, the conditions of the race in order to give our favorites the best shot we possibly could, right? So with that in mind, we're going in completely blind into day one because we had no idea what anybody else was going to be running, and it was kind of difficult for us. I believe we ended day one in 8th place, which is fine, 8th out of 9, which is fine. Again, like I said, I wasn't anticipating that we were going to sweep everything, but, the energy was not super, super high. And that was for a couple of reasons, but some of it was because, our inability to really predict what other people were doing kind of made us make choices that I think if I could go back and redo some of the choices that I made when I was directing my team, saying, okay, we should go front here, or we should go late here, we should take this acceleration here, we should, anticipate that there's going to be Umas ahead of us, so we should take no stopping me, that kind of thing. I might make different choices if I knew what the lobby compositions were going to be. So it was a little tricky, and it was, I don't know, if folks are watching the stream, I think that it was a little bit demoralizing after day one, right? We kind of realized that a lot of people in the event were choosing to go with very meta Umas, which is completely valid, right? It's a competitive event. We want to win. We want to bring our meta horses. But it was hard for us because the way the event is structured inherently gives frontrunners an extreme advantage. Not only are frontrunners having consistent greens because they're with the same greens throughout every track in wet conditions, sunny days, spring runner. And this was, I think, a very good faith rule that was made because we wanted to avoid the management wanted to avoid having Narita Top Road be a huge disparity between accounts, right? So we didn't want to put firm conditions in because we didn't want Narita Top Road to completely warp the event, right? But the side effect that it had was that it gave fronts consistent greens throughout all 3 maps, and additionally the podium point system where you give points to 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and you give them all kind of like a cascading amount of points, well, a front runner is naturally going to place higher than a late who didn't hit, right? Even if the front doesn't hit angling and scheming, like they're still going to be in that first like 4 or 5 slots, whereas a late who doesn't hit might be like 7th, 8th, and 9th. Fronts are generally meta right now in global because they have the most lobby control, they have the most control over acceleration positions, they have the most positional control, and on top of that, they were meta in the event due to the point structure and the way that the greens worked, which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not saying that this is like a huge critique of the event, but I'm saying that because of that, and because a lot of my team wanted to run lates and, you know, backliners, it put us in a position where I knew that we were not going to be getting like a lot of points, right? And that was fine with me, but knowing it and then kind of having a little bit of a heartbreaking first day where like we felt like, you know, we had some higher placements here and there, which was really, really great. Like, I am so proud of my team. We did amazing. But I think that the energy was a little bit low after the first day. And we had a little bit of a team meeting, we had a debrief, and we kind of talked about like how we're going to change our strategies moving forward. And I think that a lot of us decided that we wanted to refocus our priority. I think one of the things that was really great, we were like, let's not like have like a toxic positivity about this. Let's just admit that it felt kind of bad, and let's move on from there and see how we can still get something out of this, right? And oh my God, I'm so glad that we had that, you know, heart to heart, because it was, I mean, I feel like the second week was transformative. Like, we were able to use some of the knowledge that we had in our, from round 1, we were able to, you know, put that forward into round 2. And then additionally, we were able to understand what we really wanted to get out of the event. So we were able to, you know, reach out to other teams a little bit more. We were a little bit more social. We were less like kind of enclosed into our little private team chat, and we were more like joining general and chatting with people in general, and like, you know, just having a much more like casual kind of fun time, while also being able to try and refocus our priorities a little bit more. You know, try to say, okay, like this didn't work, but let's try this again. Let's, you know, try to build it again. Let's try to see if we get a little bit luckier this time, so on and so forth. So it was great. And then round 2 happened, which was, I think, really, really great for the team. A lot of us experienced pretty high placements, and we had maybe like the most legendary moment in the entire event. And it was incredible. It was cinematic. Like, the entire team rallied, and, you know, my chat was incredible. We had a great joint Twitch chat, which was really awesome. And it was just like a magical moment. And I think coming out of the event, like, we all felt really, really positively about it. And I am so glad to have been invited to this event. I'm so happy about it. And so let's go ahead and get into some of my team interviews. All right, so thank you so much for joining me, Barry, and thank you so much for for being on my team. I really, really, really appreciated all of the effort that you put in. Barry has been a fantastic mile runner, and you committed to Nice Nature early, and you did not give up on her, and you did such an incredible job, and you made multiple incredible Umas, and it was such an honor for me to really watch as you were learning and growing so much about the game, and just, it was so wonderful to have you on my team. So thank you so much for being a part of my team in the first place.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me tear up already before I even have to speak. I'm so flattered. I'm very flattered and honored, honestly.
Good. I'm glad. So could you describe your overall experience with how the trainer training event has gone?
Yeah, I think as I started with it, when I first got the message from Saya, it felt so surreal. Mm-hmm. Like, as someone who's like on the smaller end of content creation and all that stuff, and like who's a variety streamer, mind you, and like has dabbled into Uma like very casually and all that stuff, like it's wild to be here, I will say, and to participate. Well, I guess like to have participated now, because like when I first got the email, like, no way, I was or the message, I was like, no way, this is not real. This is so surreal right now. This can't be happening, but it is. And all that stuff. Like, are you sure you messaged the right person? Type of ordeal. I didn't know how competitive it was, because I have applied for other like content creator events, and so this is my first big one that I got to participate. And like, it was I don't know, like I feel so happy and joyful that I did it. Not only for just growing as a Uma gamer and like understanding meta and such. But honestly, like really happy where I'm at and understanding the game, and now like being able to feel like I hang with the with others who are into the game as well too.
Yeah.
So there's just that overwhelming joy. But I will say I'm a tad bit burnt out from Uma right now, where I'm not prepared for for Aries Cup at the moment, which is kind of scary. But
yeah,
no, I think it was good. Like I was, it had its roller coasters for sure, but a lot more highs, I would say. And like I feel like I'm leaving as a better content creator, better Uma gamer overall, and just like feeling much more knowledgeable of the game and all that stuff, and not just like, oh, horse waifus and all that stuff. They're so adorable and so cool and all that stuff that go fast and go burr and that you push rainbow and all that stuff. No, there's some thoughts and strategy. So yeah, like I feel like it was good. A little tired from it, but honestly, if another creator was considering doing it, I would recommend it. And it was just really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah, no, I completely understand, because I am also like, oh man, I have to prep for CM12. But no, it was a fantastic experience. It was so nice to meet everyone. So between rounds 1 and round 2 of the event, your lobby, I don't think it changed all that much. So we were able to do a little bit of prep there based off of your first lobby. But when round 1 ended, you know, I thought that, you know, you did very well, but you were like, I'm going to keep going. Like, I'm going to keep making Umas. I'm going to, you know, do what I can to see if I can improve on this. Can you talk to me a little bit about kind of that process and like how, you know, you kind of pushed forward and tried to get something, you know, even quote unquote better?
Yeah, because I would say that during round 1, I placed 4th, 5th, 4th. I was like, cool, I'm mid. That's what I am, a mid person, a mid gamer. But no, I was like actually really happy to actually be as high. Like my goal at these events is honestly not to be dead last, honestly. That is always just my goal. And like I feel like I was able to still keep with the Oshi Uma trend and also like keep it within the teen spirit. So I was very happy about that. But honestly, during the in-between, it was a little disheartening and all that stuff. I was just like, oh, that curvature would have been really nice now. Because that's what I did in proc during that run and all that stuff. And so I was just like, okay, gotta see if we could make a curvature happen. And so like I actually felt very comfortable playing Nice Nature a lot. So like that was one nice thing. Like it was a brain dead run type of ordeal. Like the one that I ended up with round 2 was actually ended up with skin break. Like you could literally look at her profile and she has skin break still on there.
So you ran the event with the skin outbreak.
Yup, it did. And she had her for a while, and I was like, well, I don't want to rest and all that stuff. So we just pushed it through, and we lost the 10, but it is what it is at this point.
Yeah.
And so, like, honestly, she probably could have been, like, close to a 12, 600, 12, and X, and then, like, she got to 1200 wit.
Yeah.
Which was, like, probably the first time I actually got to 1200 wit without intentionally doing it. But I honestly was about to pivot. Like I think I remember talking right in the middle of it, and all of a sudden at the end I was like, I think I'm gonna go to vodka instead, because I think she's a lot more stronger with Uma, because I do have a design with vodka and I do like her. And then also like I was like, okay, maybe I could go join the front runner meta, but not exactly the front runner that you think of, Kita-san and all that stuff, because she's hard to put as like mile because she's long. And so I almost did, and actually did a couple Kita-san runs. Unfortunately, it just didn't feel good and didn't feel right, and also the time was crunchy, so I was like, back to Nice Nature we go. But I felt really good just getting like all the skills, honestly. So that was just really nice to have. It's just a wish that they procced a little bit more, you know.
Yeah. Well, it was so cool because, like, I remember during one of your mile races, like, nobody really procced anything, but because your Nice Nature had the Turf S and the Mile S,
that's what I also got, too. That's why I, like, couldn't drop it.
Pushed forward. Like, you, like, just based on just, like, raw stats, you just, like, pushed forward. You got, like, 2nd place. That was awesome.
Yes,
like,
I know.
That
I was really
so
happy
cool.
to be on the podium.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe I'll get 3rd. Nope, I got 2nd. She did it. And I will say, I did take the time to look at other like coaches' VODs to
Mm-hmm.
see if they said anything or if any team said it. And a couple mentioned a couple nice words, which is appreciated. They were just very focused on those souls
Yep.
and all that stuff.
Yep.
Apologies to the Hishi, because I think the Hishi would have taken it if I didn't block.
Yeah.
In that race. But yeah, no, it felt good, and I feel like it showed. It was the start of like showing that Umaoshis could do things.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I was the start of it, and
Yeah.
to be the person that kicked it off was like, oh my god, we're on the podium actually, and I could spray champagne on second place, not third.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you beat the nice nature curse by going second instead of third.
Yes.
So we kind of answered this already, but do you feel like you got some value out of being this event or on my team, whether it was like a personal value or whether you felt like you learned a lot or whether it was the connections that you made? Like, can you talk a little bit about like what you feel like you've gained from this event?
Yeah, so I don't think I highlighted this amount of much in the beginning, but honestly, being on hashtag Team Ray, being with Mama Ray was honestly a highlight. Not just like you just teaching me, but like the camaraderie. I feel it was so positive. Like we did not turn to the PvP team, which is really nice because I think I would be like, oh my god, I am on my island, truly on my own now.
Oh, yeah.
But no, just having the encouragement of everyone and like. Honestly, like being able to hang out in BC, I think we were like probably the more poppin' BCs, I will say.
Yeah.
That wasn't like just coaching and all that stuff, but it was us hanging out and like being together. Some of us was on stream, some of us off stream, and all that stuff was like really, really nice. We got a lot of cheers out of it. That is one of the biggest values I got. Never knew how chat could be very creative with cheers, so it was really cute how whatever they decided to spam. And so that was really good. I definitely personally grew a lot as a Uma gamer, like understanding like from Mama Ray's homework of carryover and Excel skills. And so I'm very proud that I have that knowledge going forward. And I think I just got to meet really cool content creators who I hope to connect to in the future and all that stuff. And whether they be on the same team or outside. And so, yeah, I think like I got like a pretty strong value. I was hopefully giving out the Haru Urara, like I'm just happy to be here energy. Cause that is just like what I put on my application too. I'm just like, I am just happy to be here and like try my best. And like it's nice to know that my best actually showed.
Yeah.
And like honestly being able to connect with you more about like Uma and like all the other things and all this stuff has been really, really great. And yeah, I'm hoping that this server stays a little bit alive or people stay in touch and all this stuff, and that it branches out more than just the Uma like bond that we all have for our Umas that we appreciate and adore.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's so kind, and that really echoes a lot of the sentiments that I feel too. Where I'm so glad that I was part of this event, and I'm so glad that you guys were all on my team. You know, it meant so much to me, and like. Yeah, like it really is incredible just to see kind of the growth of you know the people that I had been coaching, and just to like feel like there was there was just a lot of forward momentum and people really working to do better, not necessarily out of like a competition, but just out of like wanting to be better at the game and like wanting to kind of show up and be our best selves and do the best by our favorite characters. And no, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you again for being on my team. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
Mama Marie is great. If you're not subbed to her or following her on her socials, please do. Yeah. She's so great. Like honestly, like major shout outs to Ray, also Kin, Sitri, and D. Like we really rep our Uma Oshis and kept to it, which was really good. And I don't know, like I just feel so like happy that I got to connect with folks, because like in the content creator sphere of things, it could feel very isolating and stuff, and like sometimes like this random competition that's like falsely in your head and all that stuff. But like here it just shows like how much we enjoy it and like how much we're able to connect with one another. So I'm just very, very grateful, just like uberly grateful to like be here and just happy, and like I feel like I did my best and my best effort showed and all that stuff.
Yeah,
too, so
absolutely.
very, very happy.
Great. Well, thank you so much, and thanks again for letting me interview you here.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks again for letting me do this cute little interview, and also thank you so much for being a part of my team. I really, really enjoyed working with you. And it was amazing.
Thank you.
I loved the Akabono. I loved that you wanted to run her because I have such a soft spot in my heart for Akabono from CF9. So I'm really glad. So can you kind of describe your overall experience with this trainer training event?
Yeah, okay. Overall, it was really positive. I understood what it really meant to like rally with a team, to strategize, to work together, to do your best, and ultimately what it meant to like, fail and feel frustrated.
Yeah.
There was this moment. Yeah, there was a moment after the first round where despite doing our best, despite like the high energy we like constantly tried to put out, we were like frustrated, and I felt bad, and like I felt like I let you guys down. But like rallying together after that, like and finding the strength to try again was like to readjust. It like it really felt like being part of like a sports team for a moment to like to understand what it's like to be a trainer in that world, working with your trainee, the highs, the lows. And like, if I had to give it like one word, I'd call it like timeless.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, I think that's a really good observation. Like, I definitely felt frustrated after the first round, and I think that going into it, sometimes like my expectations and then what actually happened were a little bit different, which what was kind of frustrating for me. But I really, really loved how we as a team really rallied around one another, and like we, realigned what we wanted out of the event after that. And I think that is one of the things that really helped us all to like come together on round 2, work in round 2 and have just like a really fun, fulfilling experience. So thank you so much for being a part of that. I appreciate that a lot.
Of course. I really wanted to make sure like I could show that Hikebono could do it regardless.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel with that, like that second place. And that one where I was like, I was first on the last corner. What happened?
Yeah, no, I would definitely want to like rewatch it or like watch the logs or something.
Crazy.
Yeah. So between round 1 and round 2, we did kind of like readjust with some of our strategy. We tried to tighten up some of our, choices and some of the things that we were running. And like, we were able to kind of try to use our information from round 1 to influence round 2. But what were some changes that you kind of observed between round 1 and round 2 from either your own or just things that happened around you?
So like a couple things. Sorry, I've got like a bunch ideas here. I'm gonna yap.
Please.
The first thing I noticed of day 1 of the first event was like I got an achievement for like my horse being used in 100 practice runs. And I think that's what got me to realize how locked in everyone was, even the opposition, because they were making plans, including the weird front Hishiakabono, and that was like respectful. It was good.
Yeah.
I thought a bunch of skills would have been enough because I'm used to just like spamming a lot of skills, and that usually gets me like pretty far in the CM, but like it's hard to like cinch it out and land enough to win. But I realized that wasn't like enough. Even like max speed wasn't enough when it came to dealing with the Falcon. So I learned I had to do targeted things, slightly more power, had to sacrifice just a little bit of guts to get like a double circle wet conditions, turf S, and even like aiming for a cheeky restart because of how I was targeting Falcon. I learned it because of your advice. I learned to aim to trigger Falco's conditions like really early at an inopportune time. I learned the importance of like honing in on something specific. I think Umamusume players call those angles. I learned that term. I didn't know what the term was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I aimed for like a power angle, and even if I didn't land the wind, I'm really happy with the results.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the experience in round 2 was so much different than the experience in round 1, because in round 1, like, Akabono was always trailing behind the Falcon, and like, she triggered her unique, and then she could just never catch up. But in round 2, like, you were ahead of her. Like, you were in
Several
first
times.
place a couple like, you were there. So, and that's from, like, this Uma who is really disadvantaged because she doesn't really have a unique when she's in first or second place. So I think that what you managed to do and like the improvements that we made and kind of how we talked about like how we're trying to handle Falcon was really, really great. I really appreciate that you kind of went back in and grinded out the turf S and all that stuff. That was really great.
I was really aiming for a V. I was expecting V Bourbon to also be there to like if she kept her like advantage, like V Bourbon and Smart Falcon in front of me would have triggered my yummy, and I think I would have like cinched that a bit harder.
Yeah,
but she wasn't there.
Yeah, I
Wasn't
get.
there?
I think that was one of the players that swapped to Nishino Flower, right? So do you feel like you got value out of being in this event, or being on my team, or both? Like whether that's a personal value, or whether that was learning the game better, or whether that was making connections in the community. Like, can you talk a little bit about the kind of like what you got out of this event?
Okay, this one's my biggest yapathon. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
please.
okay. I learned the importance of these kind of events. I really liked feeling part of the Uma community, despite like I'm usually used to doing runs on my lonesome. I also realized that like despite not getting the result I necessarily wanted, I think I'm actually pretty good at this game. I think I'm actually pretty good at this game. I get like top 1500 of team trials, and I realize that's like a lot. I didn't realize that. I think being part of your team was actually like really special. I took notice of you with the ex bono strat video, as that's something I thought I had the secret sauce for, and thought like, you being quirky would be really fun to be part of your team. But it turned out to be a lot more than that. When I said I wanted to do Hishiakabono, your first response was like, okay, let's make that work. You didn't question it. You didn't tell me about Chase. You were thinking, how can we make this work for our goals? And that was like super eye-opening to me. I'm like, I think you'd be an excellent teacher if the pay was better.
Thank you.
Yeah. It made me realize that you can make things work if you work hard for it, if you study for it, if you learn the track, if you learn the conditions, you learn the advantages of your horse. You're like legendary Fuji dirt run, where this stuff magic is made of.
Oh, thank you.
The showcasters are like, wow, that's like an anime race. You can make your favorite work if you put in love and effort and studying. And I really feel like through this whole event, you taught me that.
Thank you so much.
Really?
That's so kind of you. I'm like gonna cry.
Oh.
Thank you. That was really special, and I was really honored to have you on my team. And I really appreciate everything. So thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to add for the video? Anything?
Hishiakabono is hungry for victory. I'm gonna bring her everywhere else. Watch me.
Perfect. Do it. I believe in you, and I believe in her. That's awesome. Thank you so much, and it is a pleasure again to have you on my team, D. Thank you.
Thank you. DiceQueenDi, Hishiakabono main. I'm gonna show y'all. It'll be great.
Awesome. All right, so thank you so much for being on my team first and foremost. I really loved getting to work with you, and I was so happy to see all the Umas that you were making, all the efforts that you were putting in. Ken was my medium runner, and you did an absolutely fantastic job, and I think that you showed more Umas than like any of the other people on the team, which was so awesome, and I loved seeing, I loved chatting with you, I loved trying to make all these ideas work. So thank you first and foremost for all of that. Could you describe your overall experience with how the event went?
No, like I had a lot of fun with the event, meeting new people. Obviously I knew one person already, being Sitri, who was on our team as well. But no, like it's fun meeting new people and like building, like working as a team and working towards like getting the points and winning for the team. Sadly, that didn't happen, but maybe next time.
Yeah, you were pretty unlucky. Like, your lobby was very front heavy, and so then we built for that, and then, like, the second week, suddenly there were all the gold ships, and we were like, what happened?
Yeah! I was just like, okay, we have all the, like, we had trouble with the front runners, and it was like, okay, I think we're predicting more front runners. No, like, now it's end close. It's like, oh. Yeah. And then I got stuck in a sea of gold ships.
Yeah, we got kidnapped by gold ships a couple times because they don't have the Uma stand and just came out of the gate swinging. That was really tough. Yeah, so that kind of goes into our next topic where, there were a lot of changes, especially in the medium room between weeks 1 and weeks 2, and I think we also made a lot of changes. Like, we tried a lot of different things over the course of this event, and some stuff worked and some stuff didn't work. But kind of, can you walk me through kind of just the evolution of how we went from the beginning of the event to where we wound up at the end of the event?
Yeah, so the original goal was obviously to use our favorite Umas, and one of my favorite Umas is Meisho Doto. But there's an issue kind of right now, and it's nothing to do with the event. It purely because of the scenario. with Trap Laser, because a lot of the races require mile, and poor Doto has F in mile. So that was a struggle, and especially because we could only the limitations where we could only use our own parents or our team's parents, and it was just basically we couldn't use any parents that had like, it had to be basically all mile. And yeah, I think we realized that maybe not use Doto, sadly, even though I would love to use Doto. So then I was like, then we pivoted towards someone that could. It was like we were mainly looking at like late surgers, not pace chasers. So then I had in my head like another Uma I do like is Rice Shower. So that's when late Rice Shower came to existence, and then the trail of bad luck happened with my runs.
Yeah, you got pretty unlucky.
Yeah. And it was just, yeah, that first week I was just like, it was not a good time that first week.
Yeah, it was tough because we had to kind of pivot off of Doto pretty late. I remember when you said that you wanted to run her, I was like, oh, this is great. Like, this is awesome. We'll make it work. But I also didn't realize how strict, or not strict, but like how difficult not being able to use outside parents was going to be, because we just couldn't support the Doto pick by, you know, giving her a lot of mile. And I felt really bad that like I wasn't able to make that work. But I think that we pivoted kind of late to something else. And then in week 2, we pivoted a little bit more, and I think that was maybe a little bit more sane for you, and hopefully you had a little bit better time in week 2. Yeah.
It was more of a sanity check at the end of the day, because I think I was going a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
The first week, and then I was like, you know what, let's just look at aiming towards like someone that specializes like a bit more easier in mile and like obviously mediums. And then that's why I pivoted towards Grass Wonder, and I was also doing Nice Nature runs.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been so fun to do. I think because Barry was also running Nice Nature, I was like, man, we missed an opportunity to all run the same Uma.
you know what was really sad? You know what was really sad? I only found out yesterday that so the event was on Fuji's birthday.
Yes.
The next day after that was Nice Nature's birthday.
It was, yeah.
And because of time zone difference, it was Nice Nature's birthday when the runs were happening. So
yeah.
I only found out when I woke up, and I was like, wait, no!
We had the opportunity to do more Nice Nature. We could have just run the birthday team.
Yeah.
Great. So, so I guess, do you feel like you have been able to get some value out of the event or out of being on my team, whether that's, personal or, educational, or the connections that we made? Like, I'd like to hear a little bit about, kind of what the event has brought you and what you've been able to take out of it.
I think you did teach me quite a lot, especially with the getting the wit levels up, early. And as soon as I was doing that, I was like, this feels so much more easier with the energy.
Oh, great.
So and now I'm kind of consistently getting S plus and SS.
Nice. And
I was really close to getting SS plus the other day. So yeah, I'm really happy. What you taught me quite a fair bit. I knew some things here and there, but that wit change that was a huge thing to learn.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. Thank you so much. I'm really glad that you feel like you've been able to kind of consistently get a little bit higher Umas. And thank you again for being part of my team. It was such an honor to have you and to have everyone. I was really it was so nice to work with everyone. So thank you so much. And I really, really appreciate it. Is there anything else that you want to add? Anything else you'd like to say for the video?
I hope this event comes back and then we're invited back because I think we need revenge. We definitely need revenge.
Yes.
Because we kept getting kidnapped. We kept getting late starts.
Yeah.
The goal ships, the Valentine Bourbons. Oh my god! It's just we have a point to prove.
Yeah. Team ratings to run it back. We need our revenge. Okay, well, thank you so much, Citri, for being on my team. I really, really appreciate it. Citri is my long runner, and you ran an incredible Summer Maru, and it was such a wonderful experience to work with you, to, you know, just kind of watch you as you made these incredible Umas. And honestly, I felt so bad that you got a little bit robbed in our round two, because your Uma was by far one of the best ones there. But thank you again for being on my team, and thank you for all the support that you've given to our team. I know that you also did a lot of parent farming for everyone. You know, you really put in a lot of time, and that means a lot to me, and I am really, really thankful to have you on my team. Can you describe your overall experience with this trainer training event?
Oh my gosh, I just want to say, like, thank you so much again for being our coach. It was such a blast. Like, oh my gosh, everyone from, like, our team to having you as our coach, like, everyone was so beyond, like, supportive. It was such a fun experience. Like, I really got to challenge myself. Like, I went from, I was playing pretty casually, like, never score chasing or anything like that, to, I was like, man, what could I do if I push myself? And I managed to, like, hit my first UG with, like, barring D's, like, Seiyun Sky even. Like, it was cool to be able to have that experience and then share it with a teammate. And then not only that, but everyone in the entire competition was amazing. And it was just, like, so heartwarming to see, like, our communities chanting and cheering for our Umas.
That was so good. I loved the Twitch chat community, like, chanting as we were all
Oh, it was so
racing.
great.
That was awesome. I loved that. Thank you so much. So the long room was a little bit legendary or infamous in that there were 8 fronts in the first lobby and 7 fronts in the second. So it was kind of a tricky lobby to really try to work from or do anything from. What were some things that you changed or observed between round 1 and round 2, either to like try to handle the front lobbies a little bit better, or to understand, like, okay, I know we're going into this kind of meta, like, how do we address that? Like, what were some things that we were doing there?
I know the main thing going out of the very first race that I had mentioned to you was, okay, I need to remake this Uma because I was not expecting that many friends. I expected like 1 or 2, so I didn't expect groundwork to be so like critical for me to actually make sure I guarantee it hits. So a lot of making sure, okay, what greens can I take? Because I didn't get like offered like spring or anything that's like guaranteed in all 3 tracks. Then the other thing, because I needed to guarantee like Marzinski wasn't gonna just fall on her face, I'm like, worst case scenario, unfortunately I did not get offered focus during like any of my runs. I was like, well, you know, I didn't false start in the first race. I might be okay. So we focused more on taking things like restart mission or like nimble navigator and home run haste if I can't actually get first, so that way I can at least score like middle of the pack instead of just going either I go first, second, or I go last. So that way I could be like a team player, you know, and put points on the board.
Yeah, I love the nimble navigator tech when we were like, okay, there was 8 fronts in the first lobby. Even if like 2 people switch off, like there's still so many fronts that we can't necessarily guarantee first, but we're gonna be up there with them, so we can at least try to nimble nav. I love that.
Yeah, it's just so unfortunate getting the 2 false starts and then whiffing, taking the lead was so heartbreaking. I was like, no,
so incredibly unlucky. Like your Uma was so good, and like it just breaks my heart when I saw you like come in like last out of the gate. I was like, no, Maru.
But I'm still proud of my Uma. Like I was able to hit UG, and then like the flame that it lit in my like heart, like right after the race. I think we were just discussing the races. I'm like, no, I'm doing an ace run right now. Let's see what we can do. And I immediately hit Charming and Fast Learner by like classic year January, and I was like, all right, time to lock in, friends. Like I was so determined.
That is awesome. No, that was so cool, because I remember being on voice with you and you were like, I think I got something, Ray, I need you to help me with skills, I think I got something. It was so good. I loved that.
And it was so fun too. You're like, I want to see the score. I want to see it.
Yeah. No, that was good. So do you feel like you got value out of being in this event, or, you know, being on my team? Like, what kind of value did you bring out of this, whether that was personal or educational or connections based? Like, how do you feel like you've maybe benefited from this event?
I feel like I've benefited across the board. Like I feel like I made really good like lifelong friendships with everyone on the team between like Barry, D, like I was already like fantastic friends with Kin, with you even. Even some people from like the other teams as well. Like I was hanging out in Rin's chat and she's so amazingly wholesome. And then not only that, like I was pretty much completely self-taught Uma, and I'm notorious in other games. I don't read tooltips. I didn't know Marzetsky's skill required a recovery skill. And literally the one change up I made that made Marzetsky go from like an SS to a UG was buy Moxie at the start so she doesn't fail her races. So like I learned a lot about skills and like before I would just go, oh, this says it's for front runner. That means I must buy it. And I didn't actually sit down and think, does it even work on the track I'm buying it for?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that skill selection is definitely somewhere that you have absolutely improved so much as a player. And like, honestly, your Umas are both amazing. Both weeks. I think that you got completely robbed in round 2. But
I'm so proud of this second. We took second once.
Yeah.
I'm proud of it.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. Well, thank you so much. And again, thank you so much for being on my team. Thank you for participating in this event. I had such a wonderful time, and it's been so great to hang out with you and hang out with the whole team. And I just really appreciate everything that you brought for us. So thank you so much for joining us, Sitri.
Oh, thank you so much as well. I appreciate it.
Okay, this is my own interview now. I can't exactly ask myself all the questions, but I will just kind of talk through the questions a little bit and give my own answers. I think I already talked about my overall experience with the event. It was a little bit tough at first and then became very, very transformative, very worth it. I was so glad that I participated, and I'm really glad that, I had such a great experience with my whole team. And yeah, I think it capped off on something really incredible, and I am definitely going to talk more about that. But yeah, it was wonderful. My experience was great. I loved meeting my team. I feel like, we're going to be friends for a long, long time. And it was really great for this event to connect me to a lot of other folks. I feel like sometimes I am a little bit of an island in terms of content creation, where I try to exist separately but friendlily with other folks, but it makes me feel sometimes like I don't have a lot of maybe connections in the community. And I think that this event really helped me to grow in that way, in a way that I really, really needed. So I'm extremely thankful for this event, not just because of everything that I learned in terms of Umamusume, but also like all the connections that I made with other people. It was very transformative for me, and it helped me to feel out my place in the community a lot, and I really appreciate that, and that means a lot. My experience with round 1 and round 2. As a player in this event, if we are talking about a non-coach perspective, and just thinking about my ability as a player in the event in the dirt tracks, because I want to focus on that for a little bit. I found out that the coaches would be running dirt on day 1 of the event. Maybe I didn't quite read the conditions of the event before I joined, or in the couple days before that, but I found out that I was running dirt on day 1, and oh boy. Me finding out that I am running 3 dirt mile tracks against Badok, who is, one of the most legendary Smart Falcon players in Global, and a bunch of other Smart Falcon mains, Pick and Cat Bomb, both play Smart Falcon all the time in drafts, against like Charles, who was known for running fronts, against like a lot of other extremely good players. And finding out that not only am I running on dirt, but I'm also running on dirt where wet conditions is a guaranteed grade for all 3 tracks. I'm like, okay, I can't use other parents. I can't use external Chronogenesis parents to get dirt sparks, right? So I'm like, okay, I have 2 choices here. Either I use this shiny new Smart Falcon that I actually pulled like a month ago, or I try to be myself. I try to do what I'm known for and take the hard path. And not win, because I was not winning, right? Like, there's zero chance of me winning on dirt on 3 angling and scheming tracks against some of the most prolific dirt players in the entire global server. There's no way. Running a character with F dirt who has no native accelerations, and as a pace chaser, because I can't change her running style because I have to spend 10 sparks on dirt. So as a pace chaser, when pace chasers have no accelerations, because I'm me, I had to go the hard way. I had to this is an event where all of the crazy people at Umamusume are coming together. I had to represent my Oshi. So I said, all right, let's make a dirt FUJI KISEKI and let's just do the best we can. Round 1, I anticipated there to be at least 4 fronts in the room. I thought there was going to be 3 Smart Falcons and maybe like a cheeky Saiyan Sky. I thought there was going to be, maybe 4 Smart Falcons. Like, I cannot overstate how good Smart Falcon is on all 3 of the maps that I had to run. Like, there's no contest. Smart Falcon wins 100% of the time. So I thought that everybody else was going to have the same meta read, and I thought that everybody else was also going to bring Smart Falcon. Because I can't make food, like, technically, I can make Fuji a frontrunner by giving her 10 dirt sparks and using my only other 2 legacy slots for for front sparks, and running her as a dirt front. But then I'm still up against Smart Falcon. Like, what do I even do? So okay, I'm gonna make a dirt Fuji, and I'm going to run no stopping me in every acceleration I could possibly find. So, I ran no stopping me, assuming that I was going to be running up against a bunch of Smart Falcons. I ran things like Ignited Sphere Power, Lead the Charge, Head On. I also ran Straight Descent, which is an acceleration on the Kyoto track. And I Radiant Star. And I thought, okay, this is my win condition, or at least my not getting 9th place condition, is that I hit a random acceleration and excel into whatever Smart Falcon did not hit angling and scheming, and then I hit no stopping me off of her, and then I use that to try to close, right? That's not what happened, because day 1 of the event, there was 1 single frontrunner Smart Falcon in the room, and myself as the only pace chaser. So I put all this work into trying to predict the Smart Falcon room and to trying to tailor my build around predicting a heavy front room, only to be not that. Also, my room was like 4 Ogres, 3 Agnes Digitals, and 1 Falcon. So it was like, I thought that y'all were going to be bringing your favorites. So I did not do well. And I didn't do well for a couple reasons. I got kidnapped in one race because I late started, because there was like 7 late surgers, or 5 late surgers and 2 end closers or whatever. And then, like, obviously when there's only 1 front, I can't make a gap for the late surgers to not be able to close on. Like, I need fronts to set the pace of the lobby so that my pace chaser can create that gap, widen that gap, which is why I needed really high wit. It's why I needed a lot of mid-race skills. The one saving grace that Fuji has is that she has Big Sisterly, which will help her in the mid-race to push up a little bit further, which you see in round 2. So because I couldn't create that gap, like, I placed really, really badly, which was unfortunate. But, it's fine. Like, I wasn't expecting to do well. It was totally fine. Round 2, I was like, okay, there's 1 Smart Falcon. Maybe there will be more in round 2. I kind of started hearing like a couple whispers that maybe some other coaches will be running fronts. And I was like, okay, if I get 1 more front in this room, like, yes, Badoka's still gonna win, but like, I can do something, So I didn't change my plan when I heard there might be a second front, because my plan is going to revolve around having that second front. Instead, I just tried to do my plan, but better. Niche and a Flower came out. It was definitely a pro and con. Budding Blossom works on one of my maps. Again, Straight Descent works on one of my maps. They're different maps that they work on. And so I then went, okay, let's make a Nishino Flower dirt parent, because I had been making parents for my team, but I hadn't actually made any parents for myself. So my first Fuji, this 18.3 Fuji, was made with a 1-star Guts parent and a 2-star Power parent that used that same 1-star Guts parent as a grandparent. Like, my blues were awful, right? I am getting no stats for my legacy. I decided to do a couple runs with Nishino Flower to remake my dirt legacy. Luckily, I did manage to hit one of them, which was great. And I got a really nice parent with blues on one side. And then my other side, I was able to borrow, Kin actually had a dirt parent that was pretty good. So I was able to borrow Kin's dirt parent. And really fix a lot of my blue situation, because my blues were the parts that where I was like, this is not good. That's why, like, I was struggling so much with parents, because I couldn't get dirt sparks and stats and like any amount of white sparks, right? So I finally was able to kind of fix a little bit of my blue spark issue to help me with, you know, starting to snowball my stats. And then I ran a billion runs. This deck is an LB0 Yukino Bijin. I borrowed the Agnes Digital MLB so that I could get Lead the Charge, and, you know, the rest of it is just kind of what you would expect. But I couldn't run, like, you know, Top Road. I couldn't run, like, Nice Nature Wit. I couldn't run some other nice cards that would have been great. I couldn't run Daiwa Power for the neck and neck. So it was tough. I did a lot of runs. This was the last run of the day that I had, which was the day before the event, and she was so what I had started doing is I had started just playing to the first inspiration and then dooring it if I didn't get dirt, because like 5 runs a day, it's so much. This one, I didn't get dirt in my first inspiration, but it was my last run of the day, and my stats were rolling pretty well, so I decided to keep going, and God, I am so glad that I did, because I got that dirt inspiration. I got it my second inspiration, and then I got Fast Learner, and I was like, okay, all right, we're doing something is happening here. And then I wound up with this Yuji Fuji, which, just making it made me feel so good, right? Like, it was such a good experience to be able to make this horse. This is actually my first Yuji Fuji that I've made, because I haven't really done a whole lot of Fuji runs, because I've been trying to prep my account for, you know, legacies for future CMs. Yeah, so I made this Fuji. I was incredibly proud of her. Again, I did not think that I had an Ice Cube's chance in hell. Like, there's no way. There's no way. I told my team ahead of time, I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, like, because of the decisions that I've made, because of who I want to run in this coach event, like, we're not going to get any points from me, and I'm really sorry for that. And everybody was super supportive. Everybody loved it. And it was a really great experience. So day 2 of the event comes around, and we load into the first map, and the announcers were very positive towards Fuji. They were very impressed, and that made me feel really good. Because I worked so hard. Like, I tried. You know, a lot of this event was spent coaching. A lot of this event was spent parent farming for my team. A lot of this event was spent, like, trying to set my team up for success. Because I do believe that the number one priority of this event is my team, and trying to help my team be successful, and trying to help my team to learn and improve as players in Umamusume. But my number 2 priority was, like, not embarrassing everybody, right? Not embarrassing myself in the coach round. And I feel like even just by making this Fuji, even if nothing happened, I succeeded. I'm not going to embarrass myself. And then she did it. Then she pulled off a miracle. And I'll show that race because it is an incredible race, and my reaction to it, I think, is pretty funny. This FUJI KISEKI won the first dirt mile race. She took a win off of Badok. She took a win off of Pick. She took a win off of Cat Bomb. She took a win off of Jakalaka's UG4 Ogre Cap. She took a win off of Charles. Like, she did that. I mean, obviously, she got incredibly lucky. She hit, like, Radiant Star almost immediately after the acceleration zone started, and then she hit Lead the Charge extremely early as well. She used her unique in the final stretch to help overtake. But that's all I had. That's all I could do. And it worked once. And it was an incredible feeling. I'll talk more about it later, and I'll show the race as well. But it was amazing. In terms of value that I got out of this event, obviously I've already talked about how I've made so many friends, I've met so many people in the community, I've really benefited from being able to become more integrated in the wider gaming community. I'm a new content creator. Like, I only started making content in like December, and I only really started like making serious content in January. And so I don't really have a lot of like connections. I don't have a lot of people that I, can reach out to and say like, how do you edit this thing? Or, what's the thing on Twitch that can I do the, I don't know. And this event really helped me with that. Like, this event really helped me to meet people, and it was so incredible. Like, my team was so incredible. I loved the positivity of my team. I loved how everyone was supporting one another, how everyone was uplifting one another, how we all did our best to help everyone. I think everybody used everybody else's parents throughout this event. Like, I think, what was it? Sitri used Dee's parent. I used Kin's parent. Kin used Sitri's parent. And Dee used my parent. Like, we all had roles, right? We all supported one another, which was great. And so I think that the takeaway from this event is that it was a fantastic event. I would love to participate again. I really hope that it happens again, because I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of everything. And I had such an incredible time, and I'm so happy that I was invited. So thank you again, Saya, for the invite. And it was just wonderful. It was wonderful. It was magical. So I'm gonna show the race because it was so cool. You guys can see how intense it was. So here's the race. This is the straight descent map. This is the map that I have in Excel for the downhill.
Our Dober uniques are gonna work here. The budding blossom from Michino Flower is actually not gonna work here.
It's not gonna work.
This is before the final corner, so.
Budding blossom. The coaches will.
This time.
The announcers will call it out. It only works in one of my maps, so it was like very cheap.
Yes, but corner 3 maps are more favored towards NSM.
We'll reach the goal with the power of soul.
Having that gold NSM skill,
Let's
anything's
go,
happened.
coaches.
We left Unity.
Let's do
Let's
it.
go, Baba
We played Unity.
Ray.
We all
Go,
played
Baba
it, so
Ray.
Come on,
we've seen it
Fuji.
happen before.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping my eyes on the Arden and the FUJI KISEKI, as
do
well
it, Fuji.
as Fantasy
Got their eyes on
Pasta
Fuji.
and that Ogre Cap.
Come on.
Smart Falcon, you don't need to
Come
keep your
on,
eyes on Smart Falcon.
Fuji.
It's dirt. It's Smart Falcon. She's gonna be in first.
She's so good, yeah.
Yeah, and our horses
Okay,
are
Fuji's
gonna be
holding forward?
off on our final round is where the
I mean,
all the
that's
clubs come
disgusting.
out.
Look at look at that skill combo. Escape Artist into trending the charts into It's On.
Come on, Fuji.
Just
We hit
pushing
curvature,
them
we hit big
forward.
sisterly.
FUJI
Okay,
KISEKI
okay,
and
okay,
Arden
okay.
Trying to close that
We
gap.
need-
Sparkly Stardom coming through.
Yeah,
now.
okay. We need to close so that we can
For
NSM
both
off of
our
like the
Smart Falcons,
Smarrow.
that's just going to extend that lead for both of them.
Or have the Arden come
Probably.
up close
It's
to
gonna be
us. But we're in no man's zone
There's
right
a
now
lot
for
of distance
NSM,
per
which is a
mile map,
little
isn't it? I
unfortunate.
feel like just looking at
We have some random
Oh,
excels.
no,
We have
it's
head
not.
on
It
and
is, but the FUJI KISEKI and
I
the Arden
feel
are both closer. Oh,
the-
Kiss
no,
for
no, I
Courage
thought the
is
bar was
going
gonna
to
kick
widen
down.
that gap. We do see Corner Connoisseur come through. That might be
Come on,
early
Fuji,
enough.
come on, Fuji,
but
come on,
still
Fuji.
active,
Hit,
but
hit.
I don't
Fuji,
Fuji
think
hit,
so.
Fuji hit something, please.
Come on.
She ready to start, perfect, ready to start, lead the charge, ready to start, lead the charge, ready to start, lead the charge.
Yeah, these are going to be some really
Fuji
good
go,
spots.
Fuji go, Fuji go, Fuji go.
We do see her there on the left side, but let's keep our eyes here
Go,
on
Fuji.
Smart
No,
Falcon.
and
She is so far
going
ahead
to vaudeville,
of
she gets a
everyone
unique. No,
else,
Fuji,
but
move
FUJI
up.
KISEKI potentially
Go,
could
push,
take
Fuji,
it all the pace
Fuji,
chasers
Fuji,
maybe, but no, not able to overcome the Smart Falcon. Fuji neck and neck. The Smart Falcon are fighting, but Fuji the one to take it at the end, at the last second. Ray is able to bring the horse to a victory here. That's going to be a neck win for FUJI KISEKI. Ray going to be the one making the first strike this round.
Happy birthday to FUJI KISEKI. A picture
Miss
perfect,
Ray,
ready to start, trending the
Miss Ray
charts,
wanted to
both skills
win.
activating her.
So this was one race out of 3. This was one race out of 15. This was one race out of 30 that my team participated in. So it shouldn't have this much of an impact on me. Sorry. I feel like I did an okay job earlier at explaining how insane my decision to bring Fuji into a dirt race was. In an event where, you know, I'm up against the greats on their home turf, as it were. So I think that this is not news to any of my followers, to people who, you know, watch my content or especially watch my streams. But I have really bad imposter syndrome. And I've always felt really awkward about my place in the game, in the community, and nobody has made me feel this way. Like, nobody has been like, Ray, you suck. But I feel like I don't belong a lot, and it's not from anybody, it's just my own feelings, it's my own psychology, but I have felt a lot like, you know, I'm not good enough, you know, like I can't hang in the crazy, like, Discord room match meta, I can't hang in, like, Carrot Clash, I can't hang in, like, the, you know, if people want to, like, room match against me or whatever. I've never hit, like, a perfect Uma, and I've always been really critical of myself, and just feel like I struggle a lot to... I mean, one of the reasons that I don't participate a lot in a lot of, like, cross-community events is because I am so scared of failing. And, like, everybody will know now that I'm bad. Even though it was only one race. Winning this race meant so much to me. It really showed me what was possible. It really showed me what my limits are in this game and in this community, and it really made me feel like I deserve to be here. Sorry. And it's maybe one of the first times I felt that way. I know it was just one race, and it, you know, it was overall in the grand scheme of things not it was a cool moment, but, you know, now it's a couple days later, and we're moving on. But I'm gonna remember this moment for a really long time. I really am. So thank you guys for sharing that with me. But it's not about me. It's not about, you know, just my takeaway. I want the focus to be more on my trainees, on, you know, my team, how incredible everyone was. I really want to uplift everyone and just say that everyone did an incredible job. Every single player on this spreadsheet was incredible. Every single player tried. Every single player, you know, worked in the event, put something in there. It is insane that we organized 45 different players who are all, like, in some way content creators. It might not be for Umamusume, it might be, like, you know, a variety, it might be a different game, but, like, everybody has a very full schedule. And somehow we made this magic happen, and it really was a phenomenal experience. My team overall placed 8th out of 9, which is a little sad. We were very close to 7th. We were not too far away from 6th, or we were a little far from 5th. But, like, I had some hopes that after that first dirt win that we might be able to push up to 5th, but not quite. But we were really close. And I think that overall, I am so proud of my team. It's not really about the points. It's not about who won, in my opinion. So I'm not quite, like, I'm a competitive person, and that was a little bit of the fallout from day one, was me facing the realities of the fact that, like, you know, because of the Umas that we wanted to run, we were going to have a little bit more difficult of a time. But overall, we had a fantastic experience. It really was incredible, and I wouldn't trade this for the world. So thank you guys so much. Thank you to Saya and the team for putting it on. Thank you to all the other coaches for doing your best and, you know, helping all your teams. Thank you to every single player for all of the runs that you did, all of the, you know, community that we helped build. Thank you all for coming together to make this such an incredible experience. And especially thank you to my team. Thank you to Sitri, thank you to Dee, thank you to Kin, thank you to Barry. If you guys are inclined, I really, really, really hope that you follow them. I don't ask for, you know, follows and subscriptions, but it would mean so much to me if you checked out my team, because they are incredible people, and I think that you would really benefit from having some of their content in your lives. So I have all of their socials in the description of this video. Please check them all out. They're all incredible. I had a wonderful time working with all of them. And I think that you would really benefit from, you know, hanging out with my team a little bit more. So thank you guys so much, and thank you for listening to this long video. I just wanted to do a long retrospective about all of this and, you know, kind of talk about my experiences with it as a coach, as a player, as somebody in the community. And thank you again so much for putting on this event. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you all of my viewers for tuning in, watching me, cheering for my team, making all those incredible team chants. You know, it has been a wonderful experience. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys later.